right. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're having a good night, morning, whatever the hell. Uh, Today we're gonna be talking about cryptids and ghostly type situations that we've experienced in our lives, and also maybe some different stories that we've heard that we didn't personally experience, but we've heard throughout our lives. So it's old Logan and my boy old Zach here, and so then here we go. You want to start it out, or you want me to start it out?
Well, hey guys, it's Zach. Yeah, this is a really, really good one. Honestly, me and Logan weren't really planning to do this video tonight, but this is such a crazy story for us. A crazy uh, group of stories and experiences. And this is something me and him are very like passionate about. And we've actually had our own experience together, if you remember, Logan.
So do you mean when we did that little ghost hunt thing in my house?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I pushed you down the steps?
Anyway. Uh, no. You fell down the steps.
No, it was you.
Was
yeah,
it me?
It was me, you, and my sister, and I pushed you down the steps because something scared the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. Okay, we can share that one later. But anyway, guys, hey, what's up? So, ghosts, cryptids, all that cool stuff. This is going to be a lot different than the conspiracy video we did. I mean, our last video was about conspiracy theories, and I don't believe any of the conspiracy theories myself. However, I do believe in the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. So, Logan, take it away.
All right. So, for me personally, I don't have any cryptid stories, right? So, that's going to be on Zach to tell. But for me, I got a couple of ghosty stories, so I'll tell you one, and then we'll just alternate. All right, so
Okay.
the first one that comes to mind, me and my wife. Sorry, that word completely lost my mind for a second. Me and my wife and my daughter. I think I had my daughter at the time, but I might not have. She might have been pregnant, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, we was living in a different little house. It was a little trailer, and at the time it was at night, and my wife wasn't there that night. She went to go hang out with her mom or stay. I don't remember, and I was by myself. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And in the middle of the night, I get up. I gotta take a pee, and I walk out my bedroom door. And in my trailer, right, it's my door, and then right to the right side of my door is the bathroom door, but directly in front of me is a hallway, and it leads straight to my living room. So I'm walking out my door to go to the bathroom, and what I see is a black figure just standing there in the hallway, like doorway type area, just standing there as if it's just looking at me or looking away from me. I couldn't tell. And keep in mind, I'm butt naked. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm butt naked at the time. So I'm scared shitless because I see this. And I run back into my room. I get under my covers. I did not piss. I said, fuck this, I'm out. And that's exactly what I did. I said, fuck it, I'm out. And I went and I laid down. I locked my damn bedroom door, and I said, fuck this shit. But that's what I think. All right, it's not a very long story, but that's exactly what happened.
So could you tell that it was like supernatural, or did you think it was a person?
I felt when it happened, that did not cross my mind. It being a real actual person did not ever come into my mind. I immediately thought it was like a demon or some shit. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you know it wasn't. So you're pretty confident, like no one broke in.
Yeah, I mean, especially since I got up the next day, and there was nothing like fucked up. There's no doors broke in, no windows broken, no nothing. So I know no one broke in. But at the time when I seen it, that didn't even cross my mind.
So like I'm assuming you had your door locked and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That's a scary story, man.
Yeah, I know it sounds funny, because especially when I said I was butt naked. I'm just trying to fill out the story here with the facts here. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I sleep like that too, so I don't. It's not weird to me. Maybe some people think that's weird, but okay. Well, I guess I should start off. We're gonna alternate it just a little bit. So he told you a ghost story. All right. I have a few of my own. However, I'm going to start it with my cryptid story.
Okay.
All right. And then maybe later in the video we can end the video on what we think cryptids and ghosts are, and if we even believe in them. X, Y, Z. You get it.
Yeah.
So this happened in 2018, the end of 2018. I left for the Marine Corps. I left to go to Parris Island, South Carolina on January 25th. No, I'm sorry. I left in 2015. This happened at the end of 2014. What'd I say before?
2018.
Oh shit! No, I got out of the Marine Corps in 2019. The earlier, beginning of 20. Well, yeah, you get the point. Anyway, I left to go to Marine Corps boot camp January 25th, 2015. This happened sometime in November, December of 2014. I at the time was in a relationship with someone who obviously, I'm not with now. Well, you know that, Logan, but, to them, no, not with them now. There's an old girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we were driving back to where she lived, her mom's house. Well, I'm driving, she was in the passenger seat. And as we're driving, I kind of, I'm just driving, right? It's pretty late, it's kind of dark. I'm just driving down the road. Now, we are from North Carolina, me and Logan originally.
Uh-huh.
So, for those of you who do not know, North Carolina is full of trees and fields. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, and even mountains, to the west. So, we weren't in the mountains. We were more kind of north central, I would say. Some hills, some trees, the works. So I'm driving around this windy 2-lane road, back road, and my headlights catch this thing standing on the side of the road, and it's looking across the road, like to the other side. Now, when this creature came into my headlights, the girl I was dating at the time immediately screamed, "What the fuck is that?" and jumped into the driver's seat from the passenger seat on top of me while I'm driving. It scared her so bad. Now keep in mind, it was on her side of the car, on that side of the road. She saw it first. I saw something, but before I even processed what it could be, she screamed, "What the fuck is that?" I looked at it for about a split second and sped up and left. Heart pounding, adrenaline racing. I'm going to do my best to describe what this creature looked like off memory. Keep in mind this was 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, so it's a little foggy.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I can describe this creature is if you Google a harpy, like an ancient Greece mythology harpy. So the body was kind of like a harpy. It was like, you could tell it was like some kind of bird, maybe. But its wings were not expended outward like it was flying. Its wings were tucked in, almost like it was. You know how like if somebody puts a blanket around them because they're cold and they walk out like a robe.
Mm-hmm.
The wings were wrapped around itself like it was keeping its wings stored, and it had these long ass, skinny ass legs. Like I'm not talking like a crane's legs, y'all. I'm talking like these legs did not look like a bird, but they were long like a bird's, and they were really long, kind of furry. And skinny.
Yes.
And the body was like this weird bird, but the head is what got me. It looked like a baby, like almost like a human baby with like that was really furry, a furry baby head. Like I don't know if that kind of makes sense. It was enough to where it was probably about 4.5 feet tall, maybe 5 foot tall. It was not super big. But that's what it looked like. It was like uncanny, I know that it was not a bird. It was not an animal that I'd ever seen, and especially not in North Carolina. And it looked human, but not human. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? Logan, you're following. So maybe that paints a picture for you guys. But if you took like a harpy and you kind of like mix that with like a harpy with a human head, but like more like a baby, but like more upright. Not kind of like if you look it up online, if I remember, I'm not looking right now, but I think it's like a duck's body almost, but it wasn't like a duck. It was like an owl's body, but like a human head and like long ass legs. You know what I'm
Hmm?
saying? The eyes were like they were big. It was weird. You still
Yeah.
there?
I was locked in.
Um, yeah. So we drove on. We ended up telling her mom about it. Her mom kind of just made fun of us, but I don't think she believed it. But it was real. I saw it. I wasn't the only one that saw
I mean,
it.
most people wouldn't, you know.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. I told my mom about it too, and my mom was like, "Are you sure you didn't see an ostrich?" And I'm like, "Mom, what kind of ostrich is in North Carolina? Like, let's get real. We don't live near a zoo. We're in the middle of the dang country. There ain't no ostrich, and it didn't even look like an ostrich. So I don't know what she thought that it might be, my mom, but she didn't see it.
Yeah. I got nothing, dude.
So that's my cryptid story.
I have no
That's my
idea
cryptid story.
what that could have been. Nothing.
Oh, me either. I've looked into it. I've researched on Google. I've looked on Reddit. I've looked at conspiracy theory like forums. I've looked at cryptid forums. Nowhere can I find anything close to what I saw. It's almost like I made it up, but I didn't because I clearly saw it and I wasn't the only one that saw it.
Yeah.
That you know what? If I was the only one that saw it, maybe I'd be second guessing. Like maybe it was like a crackhead in a costume or something, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't the only one that saw it. And I'm not gonna see that and have a full-on adrenaline rush. Like it looked like I saw like death or something.
Oh my God.
That's how much it scared me. It was terrifying. So I don't know what this thing was. I didn't, stick around to find out. That's it. So that's my cryptid story. Logan, what would you like to say or add or tell a different story?
Well, like I said, I have no idea what that could have been. Like nothing that I know exists to me sounds like what you just described. Let alone, in the world. You know what I'm saying? Especially here. I don't know. So it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the thing. And guys, if you didn't catch our last episode, I grew up in the woods, yo. Like I grew up in the woods of the Appalachian Mountains, Virginia, hunting. I grew up in the woods in North Carolina, hunting. I've been in the woods. I love the woods. I still love the woods. I've been in the woods at night. I've been in the woods during the day, alone with friends. You name it. I've done it, day and night. Okay, I don't get scared of the woods easy. Especially where we grew up. You already know it, Logan. You can't be scared of the woods and live where we grew up.
Yeah, huh? You can be though. You can be.
Well, you're gonna have a hard time because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And the point that I'm making by saying that is, I'm an outdoorsman. I spent time in the military, working first response. I mean, there's not a lot that scares me. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But that scared me. So anyway, you can go on to take it away to another story.
That would scare me too. But yeah, okay. So my next story, again, I don't really have no cryptid stories. So I got another little ghostly, little ghoul type story for you. It's not that long either. It's a short one, but it did scare the shit out of me, right? So again, we was in the same little house, little trailer, and it was just me and my wife there at the time. And I'm in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth or doing something. I don't know what I was doing, but I had the door open. And next thing I know, the door slams, right? And when I open the door, I see, in my mind, what looks like my wife running towards our room, basically, from in front of the door. It had brown hair, which is what my wife has, brown hair. Looked the same exact height. I just, fucked me up. So I'm saying, like, hey, why'd you slam the door? And then from the other side of the house in the kitchen living room area, my wife is like, what are you talking about? And at that moment, my heart went from where hearts are down to my nutsack, dude. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, dude, there's no way I just saw what the fuck I just saw. Like, there's no way.
Scary.
It took me 2 hours to go in my room. I'm not kidding. Because that is where what I saw went.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
And you know what? Since my story was so short, let me add one more before you add yours.
Okay. Yeah.
So because it's another short one. Right. So this time I'm younger. Right. I'm living with my parents at the time. I had no girlfriend, no nothing. I was just a lonely little boy, basically. I'm laying in my bed, middle of the night. You know, you've heard of sleep paralysis, right?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of stories of that myself.
So I'm not saying that's what this was.
Wait, real quick. To clarify, did I hear you right? This was at when your mom and dad's.
Yes, when we lived in that double wide trailer.
Before you met your wife.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. Oh, we got some funny stories out of that place.
Yeah. So we was at that place. Well, I was at that place. And I was laying in my bed, middle of the night. I brought up sleep paralysis because one could say that might be what it was, but I'm not saying that's what it was because I don't know. I really don't know. I did have a sense of fear instilled in me, and I could not move, right? But I think I was just fully awake, right? But I guess that's what sleep paralysis is. But you know, you can say what you feel about it later.
Sounds like it, but go on, continue.
But the problem was about sleep paralysis is, right, you are asleep, right, and then you wake up but you can't move, right?
Yeah, your body is still asleep, but your brain and you're alert, you're awake in your mind.
Exactly. The problem was I never went to sleep. That's why I say that's not what it was. But anyway, let's get to what actually happened because I'm just rambling at this point. Anyway, so it's in the middle of the night. It's pitch black in my room, and it's a small room, right? I have a door to the hallway to get to the kitchen and whatnot, and then I have a doorway to my closet, a little bitty closet, and right there in the corner of the room where the door to the closet is, I see in my mind at the time what I think is a legitimate demon just staring.
Oh boy.
Yes, just staring at me. I could see eyes. I could see what to me looked like the head of like a goat type deal or like a dog.
Oh
yes.
No. Oh
yes,
no.
and then it was tall. It was as tall as the room was.
I believe it. I heard a story. I need to tell you a story I heard from a guy at MEPS when I was joining the Army. For those of you that don't know, I left the Marine Corps and went to the Army later. But anyway, that's another story. Keep going,
anyway,
please. You just...
Yeah, so you can...
Remind me if I forget.
Okay.
Remind me later if I forget.
So it was as tall as the room was. But yeah. it did... well, I got tongue-tied. But it didn't move. It was like it was there, but it wasn't there because it didn't move. I would turn my head, and then I'd look back at it, and it would still be there. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't moving an inch. It was just staring dead at me.
Yeah.
The whole time. And I'm laying there, scared so bad, I literally could not move. I shit you not. I laid there until like fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. Just fucking staring at this thing. Terrified. And eventually, I was able to get up and I cut the light on. And I know what people are out there saying right now that are listening to this. Oh, it's probably like a coat in the corner of your room or something like that. I cut the light on. There's literally nothing in that corner of my room. Literally nothing.
So you turned the light on and nothing was
Nothing. There. Nothing at all. Not a coat, not a dog, not a nothing.
And that is where the theory that some cryptids are interdimensional comes from, which we'll get into in a little bit later. I don't think what you saw is a cryptid, my friend. I'm leaning more towards what you said before, just from a biblical and a Christian point of view, right?
Yeah.
But I have heard that the Dogman creature Some people claim it's a physical beast. Some people claim it's an interdimensional like that. But all the stuff you described is pretty spot on. The height, the head of the dog. Did it have red eyes or yellow eyes?
It was like a palish white.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. I've heard different colors. Yeah.
I literally could not sleep with my light off for years after that. I'm not shitting you. Years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
man.
probably
getting spicy. Hey, I hope you guys aren't at work on the night shift by yourself.
That's one fucked me up more than anything like this has ever fucked me up in my life. Like, I still have like fear for that to this day.
So that scared you more than anything else?
Anything.
Yeah, I understand. It would scare me too. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all a little lighter one than that. We need a little bit of some breathing room after that one, right? So I'm gonna tell you about what I believe to be a Bigfoot encounter. Now, I didn't physically see Bigfoot, but some of the things that happened make no sense to be anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually happened a couple years ago when I was living in my camper, Logan. So not long ago.
Oh, I think you told me this story.
Actually, yeah, okay. Yeah, probably. So my wife and I, so yes, my wife, we were living in our camper when I got out of the Army. And we traveled around the country, went to different states, did a lot of cool stuff, had some great memories. Some of the most fun we've ever had. All right. Well, we got this campground in Watson, Oklahoma. Now, for those of you who don't know where that is, that's right on the Arkansas line, and it's right there in the middle of the mountains. So, it's middle of nowhere. You got some Native American, I think the Choctaw Nation is through there.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know, Oklahoma has a lot of Native American land. So, and reserves and stuff. Well, we park the camper in this campground, and the campground itself was really pretty. You could see the ridgeline of the mountains if you went out a little bit from the camper. We had 2 ponds there you could fish, and there was a trail through the woods, not far. So the tree line was directly beside our camper. If you walked out of our camper, you were looking at this tree line. Slightly to the left was a trail with the ponds on the left and the tree line on the right. You had the ponds right there, and then to your far left, you would see the ridgeline of the mountains to try to paint a picture for you guys. If you look to your right, you're looking at a hill, the base of a hill, because beside us was like a huge hill that went up.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of paints a picture. Well, one day, my wife and our kids, this was before our newest was born. He's 3 months old, so way before him. But my other 2 and my wife, we're outside the camper. We had their little Spider-Man pool, those little like kiddie Walmart pools.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Spider-Man one from Walmart set up. Kids are in it swimming. I had a campfire, and I was cooking steaks over the open campfire. It was really fun. We had our chairs set out. We had some beer. I had some music going. We had our dog outside with us. Now, my dog is a Border Collie / Australian Shepherd mix. And we had her leash kind of on the leg of the chair that my wife was sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just kind of laying down out there chilling. Well, we're talking, we're laughing, kids are playing. Now, this tree line was maybe, I would say, 50 yards away from us to kind of give you to not too far, really.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, we're doing our thing, and suddenly we hear a tree snap. I'm not talking about a branch or a stick, bro. It was a tree. That thing snapped so loud that all of us shut up immediately, including our dog, and looked towards the tree line at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me being, a little buzzed and curious, my dog, she starts sniffing the air like she's trying to win something. She's trying to catch a scent of whatever is over there. She starts acting really weird. Weirder than I've ever seen her act. Now, I carry a gun everywhere I go. All right, I can usually carry a 9mm, which, if it was Bigfoot, I don't think a 9mm would do much. But, I felt brave with my 9mm, and I felt brave with my dog, and I'd been drinking. So I get up, and I take my dog, and I start walking towards the tree line. Okay? Because I'm like, what was that? That was a huge tree that just broke. I'm curious. Well, we get about maybe 15 yards into the 50-yard walk, and suddenly to my left, in front of the pond in some weeds, a little doe jumps up, a deer, and runs off. So my dog starts barking, looking at the doe. So immediately I start laughing. I'm like, oh, it was a deer. You know what I'm saying, right? So I go back, I sit down, we enjoy our dinner. I'm not thinking nothing of it. Well, the next day, we had to make a trip down to Texas, where I currently live. And we got into the truck, we left the camper there, and we drove down to Texas. We were going down to, I believe it was Corpus, so really, really far drive from Oklahoma. Corpus is South Texas, for those of you that don't know. It's the Gulf. I had some VA appointments. I was trying to get my VA disability rating. So we go down, we stopped in Dallas, we went to medieval times, got a hotel room, went to sleep. Got up the next morning, got in the truck again, drove down to Corpus, did my appointment, drove back. No, I'm sorry, we didn't do that. Yeah, we did do that. That's how it went. So we go down, I do my appointment, and we get the bright idea that we're going to drive all the way back up to Watson. 10-hour drive. We don't feel like getting another hotel room, right? So we hop in, we go. Well, long story short, and 10 hours later, we pull into the campground, and we see a stray dog running around. All right, stray dog, so, nothing too weird. Kind of weird, but not really. Keep in mind, the campground's kind of empty. Like, we were the only camper on our side. There was a row of campers on the far end, but pretty far away from us. Far enough to where I could yell at them and they couldn't hear what I'm saying. You know? So we pull in, and the first thing I notice, guys, is our dog food is pulled out and spilled out everywhere. Now, you may be thinking, well, the stray dog got into it, but the problem is you can't open that dog food container if you ain't got thumbs. There's latches.
Yeah.
So something or someone has opened this dog food on 3 sides. It closes on 3 sides, and you need thumbs because it closes and clamps. You have to, undo it and lift it up. You know what I'm saying? On 3 sides. It's really, really close. It's really good. Really high quality container for dog food.
Yes.
Well, it was open and drug out about 10 foot from the camper with food spilled out everywhere. Now, why the fuck would how could a dog that small, because it wasn't a big dog, open it with no thumbs and then drag that heavy thing of dog food that far and spill it out upside down like that? Okay. And I say upside down because the container was laying on its side when we found it, but it was empty and it was on top of the dog food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it would have fell on its side, there'd still be some in the damn container, right? Just using some common sense here. So anyway, I'm like, what the fuck? I walk over to the camper, and I notice that my AC's off. And I'm like, oh, fuck. My first thought is we have cats in there, and it's the middle of the damn summer in Oklahoma. You know? So I opened the camper up, and my PlayStation was on the floor. The shelves that I had hung up in the camper were on the floor. All the shit that was on the counters was all on the floor. And our cats are freaking the fuck out. And our AC ain't working. So first thing I do is I'm like, what the fuck happened here? And there was a bulge on the wall of the camper from the wallpaper from the shelf falling off and bulging the wall out with it. So first thing I do is I get out, I walk around the side of the camper to look on the outside to see if it was hit or something. Wasn't. It was perfectly undamaged. So I walk back in the camper, I go and I look at the fuse box and shit, and I reset the breaker for the AC. It comes on, thankfully. And then I start thinking, what the hell happened here? Right? The camper wasn't broken into. The door was locked. I left my fishing poles and my tackle box all outside from the day before when we were grilling out. And nobody touched my fishing gear. No one stole anything. So I write it off as a freak thing. I'm like, okay, that's weird. At this point, I'm not putting 2 and 2 together. I'm not thinking of the day before with the tree branch thing or whatever. It sounded like a damn tree fell in half. It was like a loud pop, right? I'm thinking, what the hell? So we go to bed. We get up the next morning. We leave. We drive up to Missouri. And the next day after getting to Missouri, my wife is walking our dog, and she walks back up, and she's like, babe, come here. And I walk out there to where she's at, and she points at the top of our camper. Our solar panel is flopped backwards like it was ripped up. So I get up on top of the camper, and the welds, my friend, are snapped. I'm not talking somebody broke a bolt or like took a wrench and took the bolts off. No, the welds themselves were broken in half, and the solar panel shattered.
Dang.
So someone or something got on top of the camper, grabbed this solar panel, and was strong enough and big enough to yank this camper and bounce it enough to break the welds. If it was somebody wanting to steal a solar panel, why would they not just take a 10mm wrench? There's 2 bolts. It's easy to take off.
Yes.
Why would they not steal my fishing poles? Whatever this was, either was taller than the camper and was able to walk up to the camper and just reach on top of that motherfucker and shake it, or they were light enough yet strong enough to get on top without collapsing the roof in and do the same thing. When I finally realized, wait a minute, that's why everything's on the floor inside, something has been shaking this camper violently to break these welds, and it's not a man. I don't know no man that can break welds with his bare hands like that.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was a Bigfoot encounter. Me and my wife's kind of we connected all the dots. We were like, oh wow, because Oklahoma is huge for Bigfoot sightings already. And that area is one of the most popular areas in the country for Bigfoot sightings, I found out later, looking it up. So, it could have been. Now, what's better than that is when we got back down to Texas finally at another campground, I even had the guys at the campground joke about it. Like, oh, you had a Bigfoot encounter. But they were like kind of joking, but they were also trying to test the waters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they wanted to see how I'd react, and when I said I think I did, they kind of locked in on it with me and believed it too. It was almost like they already knew it, but they were just seeing how I would react.
That's crazy.
That is that. Crazy story. I got pictures still, and matter of fact, I'll put them in the video of the welds broken.
You never showed me the
I
pictures.
got them on my iCloud. I've got them on my iPhone, my iCloud. I've got a Google phone now, but I still have all my pictures from when I had my iPhone. So if I can find them later, I'll put them up. If they're not in the video, guys, it's because I couldn't find them. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. It really happened. But if I do find them after this, they're gonna be in the video. All right. So Logan, go on.
That's crazy, bro. That's
Not as scary as your shit, but still.
I mean, I'd be scared. If it was me, I'd be scared. I'd be like, how? What the? Why?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, why? If it was a person, why would they not steal my fishing poles? Why would they not steal my tackle gear, man? I had some good shit.
Unless it was some, meth head,
shit.
bro. They got that strong strength.
Yeah, but why would you get on top? Okay, why would you get on top of a camper? How, first of all, are you strong enough to rip welds out? Okay.
Got that cokehead strength.
And if you are strong enough, if you do, okay, let's assume that it's a crackhead and he has crackhead strength, and for some reason he can break steel. Okay, let's pretend he can do that for a second. All right, he can't, but let's say he can. Why the fuck would you not steal the fishing poles and the tackle box and the low hanging fruit, the shit you could actually sell that was outside? Or why would you not break my thin ass camper wall down or my door? You could break the door down pretty easily. It's a camper. And steal all my shit. No one broke in.
Yeah, I don't.
Why would you try to rip a solar panel up? Why would you get in my dog food? What the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Are you hungry? You need a dog food? Bro, just break the door down and steal my food out my fridge. Like,
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? It made no sense.
What if it was a bear, dude?
Well, that's the thing. I thought of that too. But a bear would have had to climb on top of the camper. So one, they'd have had to climb the ladder, or they would have had to climb it with their claws. There were no claw marks.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even believe anything was on the camper. I think whatever did it was taller than the camper. So at least 10 foot tall. And was able to grab that shit and shake it. And if you look at most of the Bigfoot sightings, bro, a lot of people say that Bigfoot's like 7 to 10 foot tall.
Yeah.
A lot of sightings say that.
And this was like during the day.
This happened while we were gone. We got back late. We got back like 11 p.m.
Oh.
It was dark when we got back, but it happened between the night before when we left and the next night when we finally got back to Oklahoma. It happened. Somewhere within that time, it happened. Could it have been someone fucking with me? Sure. Could it have been wild, feral people in the mountains? Maybe. But why? Why would they not just break in and steal shit?
I mean, yeah, I agree.
How would I not see them? We went all through them woods and went fishing and everything. How would I not see them? Or at least see somebody or a sign of someone living there. None of it adds up.
It really doesn't.
Why was there a fucking doe that close to us? Was it running from something? I don't know.
I mean,
Whatever that doe was running from, it was.
Why was there a doe that close
whatever
to me?
that doe.
Just now.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you're in a car, my friend. This thing like walked up to my dog and us almost. It wasn't that far from us in the weeds when I saw it, when I walked over there. So whatever this deer was running from, assuming it was running from something because it was running when it got up.
It was running.
It was more scared of more scared of that thing than me. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Logan, hit me with another banger. Anything weird, anything ever happened? Okay, I want to hit you with another thing. A lot of people have experienced Bigfoot, but they just didn't know what it was. So what the brain does is when your mind sees something it can't explain, or your mind, like, something happens around you that you really can't logically explain, you immediately write it off as something that's natural. So, for example, you might have heard something somewhere in your life and been like, oh, it's probably just a deer. And it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. What have you ever had anything that, like, sticks out that's, like, kind of creepy? Or do you have another ghost story or something?
At this moment, the only things that come to mind is I came out, the house I live in now, right? It didn't happen recently. It was years and years ago. But the house I live in now, I came outside to take a piss, middle of the night again, and I hear something it sounded like a scream, like a man scream, bloody murder. I mean, legitimately. And I didn't see anything. That's all I heard. And then it sounded as if something was running through the woods.
Was it like a long, drawn-out, guttural scream?
It was like, I mean, you've seen horror movies, right? When a dude's getting killed or whatever, or getting scared. It sounded just like that, basically.
So it was just like an ah.
Well, yeah, but a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse.
Was it like a human? Well, I don't want to scream. It's 12 o'clock at night. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it sounded human, but I mean, who knows, I guess. But that kind of scared me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the middle of the night. Why is someone just screaming their ass off in the woods right now? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it was in the distance, like far as fuck away. No, it sounded like you know what this house looks like, right? You know where the woods are at this house, right? You know the woods are like basically right there. And it sounded like it was right there, and then I heard something running. And I mean haul-assing. And you know how, you can well, at least for me, I don't know about you, you can tell if it's on 2 legs or 4 legs what's running.
Yeah.
And this absolutely sounded like 2 legs at first, and then suddenly 4 legs.
Well, could have been a dogman, or, dogman has been known to be bipedal, but then go to 4s when it runs. If that's another cryptid that one I kind of believe in and I kind of don't, but if I do believe it, I think it's an actual animal, right? Just like Bigfoot. I also believe in pale crawlers, which this next story I want to tell y'all is a story from my wife that happened around that time. And my wife didn't believe in these things until this night. And this actually happened at my mom and dad's house. Their sliding glass French door. This is going to be a short story.
Oh, fuck. I think I heard this one.
But the way my wife explained it was she got up to use the bathroom at like 2 a.m. And she was walking down the hallway, and as soon as the hallway ends, it leads to the living room. And as soon as you're in the living room, the bathroom is on your left right there. And to your right is the main living room, but then there's a French door. You know, the big glass French doors that slide open? Well, she saw this pale, skinny, humanoid-looking creature. Like the rake. If you know what the rake is, it looked like that.
You're gonna scare me
really tall and
again.
skinny. And it was so tall that it was crouched down, and its head was still at the top of the French doors, which are 6 foot tall. And it was looking in the house, like it had one arm above the French doors, like bracing itself on the house. and it was crouched down. She could tell by its legs they were bent, and it was looking in on her. And she actually drew me a picture. If I can find it, I'll put it on here, but I don't know if I can find the picture of what it kind of looked like in her perspective.
Mhm.
And she told me that she was like almost in disbelief because it was like 2 a.m. So she kind of like just walked into the bathroom and tried to act like she didn't see it. And she used the bathroom, and she said when she came back out, nothing was there. Just a blank, empty doorway outside. And shit scared the shit out of her. She came back and got in bed with me, and then the next morning she told me all about it. And now to this day, she, swears by it. And she didn't really believe in that stuff until that happened. So, take that with what you will, for what you will. But there are actually a lot of videos about these things that I do believe. Some of them are actually live streams of people going into the woods and finding these things on logs and shit, like, or on broken trees, like standing on them and like crouched down looking at them and shit. So whatever this thing is, I believe it exists. Some of y'all call it the rake. Some people call it a skinwalker. Some people call it a pell crawler, which is what I call it. But you know what I'm saying.
I've never heard it called that.
Pell crawler is the more official name that has now been adapted or adopted online, right? Google it. Do you have access to Google, Logan?
Yeah. I mean, I know what a skinwalker and all that looks like. I just never heard it called.
Yeah, no, Google it. Google a pell crawler and go to your images and you'll see it.
But I mean, does it look like a skinwalker?
Well, I mean, what do you think a skinwalker? I don't know. Google it and you tell me. Is it the same creature in your opinion?
I mean,
like
yeah.
Really bald, white, lanky, skinny looking thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I've always thought a skinwalker looked like.
Okay, there you go. So it's the same thing depending on how you look at it. There's a famous video from like 2006 of these guys walking in the woods, and they run into one, and it's eating something. It's nailed over eating, and it looks up at them. The video is grainy. It's 2006, but that's the earliest video that I've been able to find of an alleged sighting caught on camera. Who knows what they are? Maybe they're the uncanny human thing we talked about in the last video. Who knows?
Scary, bro.
Anyway, it is, man. Okay, so okay, do you have any more stories? Because I wanted to tell you the one that I heard that was similar to what you told us earlier.
You go ahead.
But I want you to tell me at least one more now. I want you to do it just because I've kind of talked a lot again. But you've done a lot more talking too in this one. If you guys didn't catch it, the last video we both went into a lot of stuff, but I kind of let it. But I want my boy here to tell another because some of his stories I never heard and they're interesting. So you ain't got nothing else?
I mean, I could probably remember one, but you can go ahead. If you.
No, you go first, and then I'll tell my last story. I'll tell will be that one I was telling you earlier that I would tell you later.
Oh, that one you was talking about. Don't let you forget.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other one that comes to my mind right now is how the house I'm living in right now, pretty much everyone in my family, and myself included, says it's haunted. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of relates to what you're gonna tell, But I won't tell that story.
Okay.
I'll let you tell that story. So one night I'm just laying in bed chilling. Actually, it wasn't even night. Actually, it was during the day.
Wait, real quick. Are you talking about the time we did like that ghost thing?
No, I said I'm gonna let you tell that.
Okay.
This one's different. I'm just laying there chilling, playing video games or whatever the fuck, I don't remember. And next thing I know, I start hearing footsteps come towards my room. Problem is, nobody was home. It was just me. I didn't have no girlfriend. I didn't have my mom and dad wasn't there. I didn't have nothing. Okay, so I'm starting to immediately think, oh God, someone broke in this bitch, and they're coming to get me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I get up out my bed, and I go to the side of my bed, and I lay the fuck down and try to get under my bed. But unfortunately for me, my bed is not tall enough. I'm a hefty fella, right? So I couldn't get under it. So I'm just laying there looking stupid, right? But eventually, I don't hear anything. I don't hear nothing at all. I didn't hear no voices, no nothing, just those footsteps sounding like they were coming towards my room. Eventually, I get up, and I walk out my doorway, and I did notice I had this TV stand thing that I was using in my room that I moved to the hallway because I didn't need it anymore. It has these two little doors.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you've seen it, but it has these two glass doors on it in the front. And one of them was shattered.
Was shattered?
Yes.
Like someone broke
Yes.
it?
But keep in mind, I didn't hear
wow.
that.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything. It just kind of, yeah.
And I know this
Oh, wow.
of all the stories I've told, this one sounds the most bullshit. I know. But I'm telling you.
No, I
it happened.
If you remember, man, I had a really massive panic attack there one time. Remember that?
You did, dude. I remember.
That was crazy. That was probably the scariest one I ever had, other than the first one I ever had. I'm glad I got that stuff under control now, and I kind of understand what it is now. But at the time, man, that was terrifying.
It was. Because I didn't know what the fuck was wrong with you. I didn't know what the fuck a panic attack or anxiety or anything really was at that time. I didn't even know that was a thing at the time, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't either, really. That was a really sketchy place, man.
It still is, bro. I still live here.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. No, it's sketchy. Anyway. So, would you like me to tell you the story I didn't want you to let me forget, or do you want me to tell the one that we had that night together? From my perspective, because I may get things wrong and you may remember things. So please, if I do,
you know what? Go ahead and tell that story. Since that's what I ended on.
All right. Okay, guys. So the reason we did it, from what I remember, is because didn't your uncle pass away, or your grandmother? Someone had passed away.
My grandmother was alive still at the time, so it must have been my uncle.
She was alive, yeah. Yeah, so it was your uncle who passed away. And you were telling me how you thought that things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yes.
So me, Logan, and his sister, Brianna, decided, okay, we're going to do like a ghost hunter thing where we like record on our phone and ask questions. Okay? Really stupid.
But it was,
we were borderline a Ouija board.
It was because me and Brianna, I don't know about you, but I know me and Brianna at the time would watch Ghost Adventures and stuff like that all the time. So that's why we did it.
Yeah. Well, I will admit, it's a staple memory in my life, and it was fun. But it was scary, and I will never do it again. So we were sitting on the stairs. I remember sitting on the stairs where we first started, and you can tell it from here because I told it wrong earlier. I thought that you're the one that fell down the steps, but I guess it was me.
No,
tell them what happened.
I pushed you down the steps because we all three of us were sitting at the top. Well, actually, you and Brianna were sitting at the top of the steps. I was standing up behind y'all. And y'all were sitting there talking. She was recording, and I don't know what y'all were saying. Y'all was just asking questions. I don't remember that much. But what I do remember, what happened to me was in my ear, I heard someone say "get out" or some shit. I don't know, and it scared the fuck out of me. and I wasn't purposely trying to push you down the steps, but you was just there and in my way. And down you went. Yeah.
I remember you like panicking.
Yeah.
And like we ran to the bottom of the steps, didn't we?
Yeah, you ended up there, yes.
Yeah, we all kind of did. And then we went upstairs to your room.
Yeah.
And we laid the phone on a notebook. And we sat on the bed.
Mhm.
And I remember asking if anyone was in here right now, and like a few other questions. I don't remember every question I asked, but I asked that question specifically, and I remember because that question actually got a response. Do you remember the response, Logan?
I think so.
So when I asked it and we listened to the recording, it sounded like something smacked the notebook. So it sounded like someone smacking paper, like a...
Yes.
I don't know if y'all hear that. I'm smacking a notebook right now.
Yes.
It was like a notebook, like kind of like a papery thud. And said, yeah, like a whispered yeah, really fast. And then you heard a, like wind, or like that. You hear that? Like notebook page turning or something.
Yes.
So I remember hearing that on the thing, and me and Logan thought that was crazy, and it was crazy.
It really was. Because at the
Um,
time, dude, like, before you continue, I just want to say, at the time, I didn't believe in this shit really, like that, right? This shit fucked me up.
yeah.
Because I had no explanation for it as to why it was
Yeah, me
anything
either.
other than that, you know?
Yeah, I think we both were kind of like, it's nothing, and then that kind of shocked us. Yeah.
But go ahead.
Um, so don't go messing with that stuff. All right, we're coming up on the hour. Do you have any more stories, or do you want me to go ahead and tell the one from that kid that I told you about earlier's perspective when I was going into the army?
Go ahead.
All right. Do you want to end it with me on that one?
You can, yeah.
Okay. So I got out of the Marine Corps in 2019. You know, I was out for about a year and a half. Tried to go back in, didn't work out, so I joined the Army 2021. Well, when I was at MEPS the second time around in the hotel overnight, I was roommated with this kid. I want to say he was going to the Army as well. And this kid was like 18. He was young. I was 25 or 26. Well, we kind of just got to talking about like ghostly shit, you know, it just kind of happened. And he told me a story where he lived growing up. So they had a camper in their backyard, and the camper was like right there along a fence line, and there was a bunch of woods right across the fence
Uh huh.
into the trees, right?
Yeah.
Well, he had a bedroom in his house, but he was in the camper a lot. Like he would go to the camper and sleep out there and like do stuff out there. That was like his space. And he ran a drop cord from a plug-in outside of his house to the camper where he like plugged in his TV and like his game and systems and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So he told me that one night. He told me two stories. So I'm gonna tell them both kind of like one. The first story, he told me that one night he was laying in his camper with his dog, and he had a window in the camper that he would like crack open a little bit, and the cord ran into the window. You get what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
Now it was along the side of the fence for some reason. So like I guess the orientation of the camper, the window was facing the fence, so it was right along the fence. So he had to run the cord from what I remember him explaining to me and what I pictured from his story, almost like he had to run the cord around the camper to go into that.
Mhm.
And he said he was just laying there, kind of dozing off. He had something on TV. He didn't tell me what. I don't think he remembered. But his dog started like growling, like you know that kind of growl dogs do when something's going on.
Yeah.
So the dog's growling and it's like looking at the window where the cord's coming in at. Well, he claims that his power cuts out suddenly. Like, well, not his power, like he had his lights off, but like his TV and like everything that was hooked up from that drop cord goes out. So he gets up and he opens the door to go outside. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, he thought somebody was messing with him, like his dad or something. He told me.
Mhm.
So he opened the door, he went outside, and he said he saw this pale, skinny ass thing like hop the fence. Like, it almost like was able to just step over the fence. So going back to what we said earlier, like the pell crawler stuff,
Uh-huh.
he didn't specifically say that, but after knowing what I know now when my wife told me that story that she saw, it probably was like a pell crawler or something. But this pale, skinny thing like went over the fence, and his drop cord was unhooked on the outside because he had to drop like an extension cord on the drop cord, so it wasn't unplugged from the house. Like that little part was unhooked.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the two cords where they come together outside.
Yeah.
Well, another night, he was in his bedroom in the house, and he saw a demonic dog-looking thing
Oh hell.
that was crouched down in his hallway, looking in his bedroom directly at his bed while he was laying there. It was crouched in the hallway, and while it was crouched, its head was the same height as the light switch. So you imagine how high a light switch is off the ground. Imagine a beast that's crouched down with its head as high as that, and it's crouched all the way down. He told me it was like a dog, and it was staring at him, and it looked like evil. And he said it scared the shit out of him, and it stayed there and didn't do anything.
Mm.
So, similar to what you said, probably the same thing. He told me that was another story he had. And, I mean, both those stories he told me that same night. So that's why when Logan mentioned that earlier, guys, I said that, because it reminded me of that story.
Man. Fuck demons, dude.
Yeah, and then he told me, like, his grandmother had passed away in that house, but that's a whole nother thing, man. That's really not that scary, because, I mean, not for me it ain't, because, I work in EMS on an ambulance, so, I mean, I'm, death, life and death, that's just, like, that's all part of life, but when you start talking about, like, these creatures and these weird things, that's when I get freaked out.
Yeah, I agree.
So, who knows? Me from a Christian faith, I look at it as not something that we should deal with,
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about Dogman, like the cryptid, I think it's just a creature. It's just a living, breathing creature.
That can
so do I think a Dogman
get
got
into
into
your
his
house
house?
and just chill.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Do I think that Dogman got into your house, Logan, and his house, and just looked at him and left? No. So I don't think what y'all saw was that, unless Dogman really is interdimensional. Some people believe he is. I don't. However, I believe in it. I believe in Dogman less than I do Bigfoot. But there are so many sightings of this dog creature, rather in the woods, rather in people's houses, that maybe it is interdimensional. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I personally just think that if there is a Dogman creature, it's a physical beast, just like Bigfoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you that from my experiences and from what I've heard field researchers say. For those of you that don't know, cryptid, like Bigfoot and like Dogman researchers, it's a real thing. Like people will go out in the woods and they'll actually try to prove these things exist. Some of them get some good evidence. However, Bigfoot has a lot more evidence than Dogman.
Yeah.
Dogman, the only evidence that I've ever really heard about Dogman, other than like y'all stories about like the spiritual shit.
Mm-hmm.
The only like physical Dogman story that I've ever heard that I truly like believe, there's a famous hunter out of Oklahoma. He's a professional hunter and he has his own call line. So he creates his own coyote calls. I'd have to look his name up, but he's a pretty well-known hunter if you start looking into him. And he has openly come out and said that he called a Dogman in with a coyote call one night hunting.
Uh-huh.
He has openly told the story that because he sells all these calls, and he called a Dogman in. He says he called it in. It was in the evening, so he was in his tree stand, and it was late. You know how like getting late at night when you're hunting deer, it starts to get dark.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the evening. He was calling in coyotes, and this freaking beast on all fours ran out. He had his scope in his tree stand looking at this thing through the scope, and this thing was at least every bit of 7 to 8 foot or something, muscular. This wolf. It was like a fucking werewolf, he said. It ran in on all fours. He says it stood up on 2 legs and started sniffing the air like it was trying to smell him or smell whatever was making the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And he said after looking at this thing, he was not confident that his rifle could take it down. That's how scary and big it was and muscular. He said he saw the muscles and the tendons moving when it moved. It was real. It was as real as you and me. And he claims it then jumped back down on all fours and ran ridiculously fast into the tree line. Like 2 or 3 hops, that bitch was gone in the tree line. Now, he stands by this story, and maybe he's lying to try to sell calls. I don't know. Or maybe he's telling the truth. Because, I mean, somebody with a reputation like that, I don't know why they would lie. His name is... I'll find it for you real quick.
That's crazy, dude.
Who...
Can't believe that shit. I would shit myself if I saw that.
Russell Goodwin, who gained attention for his predator hunter decoy operation. Hold on. No. I'm sorry, that wasn't him. Who on the monster? So. Okay. Yeah, dog soldier predator called Steve Crone. Hold on.
You've told me this story before, but I don't remember the guy's name.
Coyote Wall. Hold on.
You know?
Yeah. You can Google it. So the YouTube channel that he did his interview on is called Monster 911 with Lance Hightower. He did a whole interview with this guy about this sighting. It's like an hour long, and he tells it from his perspective of what he saw. So if you guys are interested, check it out. But what were you saying, Logan?
I'm just trying to comprehend, you know? Trying to understand.
Yeah. So, now, is it possible that this creature is interdimensional and physical? Yeah. I mean, maybe it could come into our physical plane and then leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I don't believe that, though. I do believe in interdimensional spiritual things because I'm Christian. So I believe, what I believe from a Christian faith. Not necessarily that there's animals that can come in and out that are just regular animals, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. What do you got before we close it, Logan? I think that's a good episode.
I guess if I had to tell anybody anything, just keep your eyes open, my guys. There's shit out there. You just got to be willing to see it.
Or in my case, hoping you never do.
Yeah, I guess that's better to say.
Well, all right, guys. Well, you guys stay safe out there and you take care. If you have any of your own crazy stories you'd like to let us know in the comments, and maybe we can get you on an interview. That'd be cool. Open that door up to others.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. All right. Well, that's all I got, guys. You guys take care, Logan. You got anything?
Like always, see you later, my brothers and sisters. Have a nice night, morning, evening, whatever it is. Be good.
All right. Out.